First of all, I always thought that breast cancer was a white woman's disease. I didn't know that black women got breast cancer, and that was mainly because all the promotions featured white women. So I just thought, oh, black women don't get this. And then, lo and behold, I was diagnosed with stage 3 advanced breast cancer. I thought after that I finished with the IV and the chemo that I was going to go home. I didn't know I had to take additional over-the-counter, not over-the-counter, but prescription drugs. And I went, and it was quite expensive. And I thought to myself, okay, what do poor people do? How do women that look like me, that is less fortunate than I am, how do they make it? How do they find the money to pay for this prescription, take care of their families, cover all their finances? That must be so difficult for them. And then I was at home one morning feeling, terrible after chemotherapy treatment. Couldn't get off the bed. It was terrible. And I thought to myself, okay, I don't want any other woman that looks like me to have to go through this alone. So when I get better, I'm going to do something about this. That started the journey of me and the Olive Branch of Hope.
The Olive Branch of Hope's office is situated on Indigenous land. This is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. The Olive Branch of Hope gratefully acknowledges these Indigenous nations for their guardianship of this land. The Olive Branch of Hope also recognizes stolen people from across the world who have inhabited this land by force. Slavery prior to and including the transatlantic slave trade continuing through modern-day human trafficking have brought Indigenous people from across the globe to care for this land. We acknowledge the truth of our Canadian history and commit ourselves to reconciliation, knowledge, and careful intention. I invite you to take a moment of silence. Feel free to use this moment for prayer, memory of a loved one, or to set an intention for your engagement in this space. Thank you for holding this moment of silence with me.
Hello and welcome one and all to all of our guests and to all of our online viewers across the globe. I'd like to take this moment to say thank you for joining us on our 30-day HERstory journey. Today is actually the 30th day of HERstory campaign in support of the Olive Branch of Hope. And we have had some fantastic conversations for the past 30 days. Yes, believe it or not. And now before we jump in, I just want to share with you the reason we're here. We're here to let you and everyone know about the amazing work that this organization, the Olive Branch of Hope, has been doing in serving our community. The Olive Branch of Hope was started about over 20 years ago by one of our stalwarts, Leela Springer. And the Olive Branch of Hope is holding a sacred space for women of African ancestry as they journey through cancer treatment and as they thrive through life afterwards. So as I've said, Leela is also joined by her board members and volunteers, and we all want to say thank you to you for watching today. Now you have just a quick moment to quickly share this link with everyone that you know so that they can jump right into our conversation today. So right now, while you're sharing the link, I'd just like to welcome my guest for today. And my guest for today, her name is Destiny Savary. I love the name Destiny. And Destiny is an author. She has authored the book that's entitled The Perfect Storm. Wow, I cannot wait to have Destiny take us along the journey as to how she got to writing this book entitled The Perfect Storm. So, welcome, Destiny.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All
It's such a
right.
pleasure to be here. Thank
Yes,
you.
you're welcome. I hope you've had the chance to actually share the link as well with your network, so that they can tune in and join us in the conversation that we're about to have. I know it's going to be really exciting. So let's get right into it. So, Destiny, how about you begin by telling the globe a little bit about yourself?
My birth name is Stacy, and in Greek that actually means resurrection. And my spiritual name, I believe that God's given me, is Destiny. So that's like I go by Destiny now. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. I migrated to Canada when I was just an infant. So I've grown up, gone to school here. I've done work here and done a lot of work in the community for the last probably about 25 years. And yeah, I've just been very involved, more so behind the scenes in the last couple of years, I would say the last 10 years, because of social media and different things. I kind of put myself on the forefront now and being a little bit more vocal and using my voice to make an impact and influence in in my community in regards to health and wellness and women's reproductive rights, different health issues that Black women, especially Caribbean women, face and have in the community. So, yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
All right, thank you so much. Um, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm just hearing a little bit of muffling still in your microphone.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yes, yes, it's a little better. Yes, thank you. It's a little better. So yeah, so you do a lot within the community, and that's great because I just feel that as a community we have to come together and work together, work with each other, get along with each other for the betterment of us, the betterment of our community and those whom we serve within our community. Right.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that about yourself. Now I'll go to my first question in the interest of time here, because I want to ensure that we will be getting through everything that we have planned
Right.
for today. So,
No problem.
yes, vision it's a big word, and everyone has different ideas about vision and what it means to them. So, I'd like for you. So, do you want me to call you Stacy or Destiny?
Destiny's fine. Destiny's
Destiny. All
fine.
right. So, I'd like for you, Destiny, to tell us, in your own way, what is the importance of vision to you? What does it mean to you? And what is the importance of it? How is it important to you?
Well, for me, I see myself as a visionary. I see myself as a seer, as somebody who sees ahead and who sees the bigger picture of things. And that's what I've been able to utilize those type of skills within my work, within my capacity, in my life, in my personal life. I actually every year at the start of the actually before the year starts, I actually have a dream life planner. Right? I'm very organized, right?
Wow.
So I write everything down. My vision comes in my book, right? My the
Mhm.
dreams and the goals that I want to accomplish, short term or long term.
Mhm.
Um, I also did a vision board this year. I also have it too. It's right in front of me, and I'm more of a picture visual person. So
Right.
for me, um, to have vision is to have that tunnel focus, right? To just have to see where you're gonna end up, the destination, and how you want to get there, right? That's what vision means to me.
Absolutely. I love that book, Dream Life. So that's where you capture all your
It's
hope.
actually a Caribbean woman that in Whitby is you say boss and tell you these are amazing. I've had this for the last 3 4 years, and it's great for entrepreneurs and people who literally want to fulfill their vision and dream for their life.
Oh, wow. Yes, yes. I love it. The dream life. And you talking about your having your vision board. So I would also guess that with your vision board, you have pictures of the goals that you'd like to achieve as
Right.
you go throughout your lifetime. So is it that you make a vision board every year or you set one for a 5 year term or?
Yes, yes, I actually make a vision board every year, and I've looked past at my past vision boards, and I've actually like to see where how I've progressed and to see what I've accomplished, and I've accomplished a lot. I didn't even realize until I go back and I see a picture of something like for example, um I had a picture of like maybe teaching or speaking in front of students. Now, I didn't this year. Obviously, it's still fresh in the year. I did get some opportunity to speak and to teach in different things, but my book actually went to was taken to the university in Nova Scotia.
Wow.
So you know, even look at that. Like, it transcends me actually physically having to go there, but it's in Nova Scotia, right?
Right.
So I was like, wow, I actually fulfilled that vision to expand my territory, to teach and to share my knowledge in terms of health and wellness and what I'm going through
Yes.
with my condition. I for me, for a person who suffers from a chronic illness and disease, I have to be more focused and I have to have like really streamlined goals and vision because if I don't, I won't be able to set proper boundaries around myself in regards to my health and wellness,
Right.
right? So that's one thing that I for 2023 that I'm focusing on being more intentional with my self care and my self love and how I even my hair, my natural. Usually I don't wear my natural hair out. This is the first time that I wore my hair out. Like the journey of embracing who I am and coming into my own self, right?
Yes.
And my healing journey as well, right? I have a vision for healing. I put all that in my I put the foods that I want to eat, the places I want to go, the influences that I want to meet,
Yes.
who are healing people. That's all on my vision board.
Wow, that is so exciting. That is so exciting. I have a 22-year-old daughter who's going to be 23 soon. And she has started doing like maybe past couple of years her vision board as well. And she has all these pictures of things that she wants to be able to achieve. And I am here observing her and I'm actually seeing some of those vision or goals or dreams that she has on her boards. I'm actually seeing them coming through. So,
Exactly. You're manifesting it, right?
yes, yes. So I'm sensing here from you and her and all those who do the vision boards and so on is that you have to see it to believe it, right?
Mhm.
Right. So you have to see to believe it. And as you've mentioned, congratulations on your book and the fact that your book is going around the world. At least you mentioned it's at a university in Nova Scotia. So that's a good thing at times, when sometimes we don't even think about it that when you put a book out there, you don't know the places that that book will end up. It could end up in places that you haven't been as yet, or places that you have on your vision board that perhaps one of these days you will get to go to one of those places, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what's been happening, and it's exciting. Um, I honestly wrote the book because I thought at one point I was gonna die. And like literally, I shared this story on Facebook, but briefly that the doctor found fluid in my brain, and they were like trying to check and see, so what is this? Like you're I've been losing my like certain memory, short-term memory, and forgetting things and losing things, and I'm like, so the book came out of a desire to want to record my life and to put something substantial and to have something substantial that if anything were to ever happen to me, that I would leave behind a written record and legacy of my story, of how some things in my
Yeah.
life, some people know things they think they know, but they don't know. So I wanted to leave a record of what really happened and what really happened in a time period when I was going through a transition and like some storms. Like the name of the book is called The Perfect Storm.
Yes.
Navigating through the storms of life in messy waters, and I wanted to make a record of even though I went through those storms, like there was a destination, there was a focal point, and I got to the other side. So by God's
Yes.
grace.
Thank goodness. Yes. Yes. So yes, that's so interesting and moving and touching. Do you mind just briefly telling us a little bit more about your book?
Right. Okay. So, like I said, my I suffered in silence with a condition that I didn't even know that I had, and was gaslit. I was not believed by the medical system, by doctors. I was passed on to different doctors. I was misdiagnosed. I had to write up doctors, and I had to in Toronto. I lived in central Toronto in Etobicoke, but I had to go to different hospitals to get like answers, right? And every doctor and every hospital, all the way from from Hamilton to East York to North York General to downtown Toronto, every hospital from Mississauga to Brampton, every hospital kept on giving me the same answer that there's nothing wrong with you, your iron's low, um, you just have heavy menstrual cycle, heavy bleeding, whatever. I said that this is not normal. The amount of blood that I'm losing every month on my cycle,
Mm-mm.
it causes me into a vicious cycle. I would lose so much blood that I would have to have blood transfusions and iron transfusions,
Oh no.
right? And then this vicious cycle, and I wouldn't be able to do my daily tasks at that time. I was married and church and ministry and all that.
Mm,
So my book basically talks about what I went through, the perfect storm, what I went through during that time, and um, and how I actually finally got a diagnosis
mm,
within between seven. It took me 7 to 10 years. So I am 1 in 10. I suffer from endometriosis. There's like when I say millions, there's millions of women around the world. If the women who had this disease was in a country, we'd be the eighth largest country in the world, right?
mm,
It's really big. Not something that it's not necessarily considered. It's considered serious, but in a sense, it's not considered as serious as something as cancer or uterine cancer
right.
or like sickle cell and those diseases, but it really is up there, and it does have a huge impact on the socioeconomic status of myself, of the world, and everything. There's a billions of dollars lost in productivity, women um,
Mm,
the end of the month of their work term or whatever work lives. They're missing out on their lives. They're missing out on their children's lives and different events. They can't go because they're home in bed. They're sick in bed, crawled up in a fetal position. So that is what my life looks like on a daily basis. However, I do not allow it to hinder me. About I've had two surgeries up to this point. I'm actually due for another surgery.
oh,
Um, I actually put that on hold to prepare myself and get more information. The funny thing is, like, I used to work in healthcare
oh yeah.
and do projects with women's health and women's hands. So I need to. It took me about after my first surgery and the diagnosis. It took me literally between 3 to 5 years to get a specialist. A
Wow.
specialist with this condition. So, a specialist is an endometriosis specialist is a person that could give me the guidelines. Okay, you have this, and this is what we can do. Right? These are my options. Right?
Wow.
Most women, again, like I said, they're women that you really didn't know that had endo. Hollywood celebrities and people are coming out about it now.
Yeah.
Um, like I've been in social media for, I would say, for about 10 years, and I could really see within the last 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
black women, especially black women in Hollywood, have come out and spoke out about these conditions. I don't know if you know Tia Mori from
Yeah.
TNC's sister. One of the twins has endometriosis. She
Oh,
has right, on Dr. Oz and everything. I actually was on a Zoom call with her, hearing her story personally during the pandemic through the Endo Black Summit. And um, there's a lot of organizations doing great work in the US. We have a few of them in Canada, but
yeah.
there's so much work that needs to be done in regards to awareness and even letting people know how they could even be diagnosed.
Yes. Oh my goodness. We're here to cheer you on, and you're a champion. You are a trooper, and continue to let your voice be heard. Continue to share your story so that others can learn from what you have been through. And, we have your back. We'll be praying for you as you continue through the journey, right? Thank you for sharing that. I know that must have been hard for you to talk about it. But you've mentioned something earlier on too about being silent, and that's a good segue as well into the next question that I have here for you. That has there been a time where you felt as though your voice was diminished or silenced, and what was the outcome of that?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Has there ever been a time where you felt as though your voice was diminished or silenced? And if so, what was the outcome of that?
Yeah, I'm not catching you. Okay,
Yes, when your voice was
okay, yes.
diminished or silenced. You're not hearing me?
Okay. Can you put it in the chat? Can somebody put it in the chat?
Yes, we'll put it in the chat quickly here. I'll just do a copy and paste here. Okay, it's there. Are you seeing it?
No,
You're not seeing it in the chat?
no, I'm not.
And you're not hearing me anymore?
Yeah, I'm hearing you a little bit better now. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you just rephrase the question then? Then
Yes.
so
The question is, has there ever been a time when you felt as though your voice was diminished or silenced? How did that make you feel?
um um I personally, okay, so the work that I've done in my life, I like again, I don't talk about what I've done in the community and the places that I've worked or the people who I've worked for. I've always been behind the scenes, and so I wasn't really out in the forefront unless I was. I used to be an artist. I used to dance and perform and do ministry dance and praise dance and travel and whatever. But I think what has happened to me over the years that I somehow in the whole Christendom and religion and church
Hmm.
and being what I say I don't know being a minister's wife or pastor's wife I basically silence myself so
Mm,
yeah I silence myself and especially with the type of issue again being considered like a modern day woman with the issue of blood. I always had that there's a stigma in church and in ministry and in the world. Like we talk about these things as taboo. We can't even talk about them. So
yeah.
I silenced myself. It wasn't until I left my ex-husband and I got divorced that I felt free to be able to speak up and to talk out and to let people know what was really happening behind the scenes.
Wow.
So one thing I do want to encourage any women that's watching today, especially that we are Women's History Month, right? And we're wrapping up here. But one thing that I found also, not only in the Caribbean and Africa and here, but in culture itself, um, I find with Caribbean culture, I could speak for myself, is that they want if you're with a partner who's not so supportive or who doesn't know what's happening or what's going on,
Right.
it it really could affect your emotional and mental health
Yes.
when your own partner and your own family doesn't believe you, right?
Mm.
Because it's an invisible disease. It's not something that you can see that I have, right? I look
Right.
well. I can get up, I could put on my makeup or whatever, but that's because I have the energy to do that today. You guys are catching me on a good day, not on a bad day. If I was on a bad day, I would be in bed and I would have to postpone the interview. But on a good day, like I said, because I played the role so well
Hmm.
of being that strong black woman, that woman who can take it, even though even though I'm bleeding, I'm doing children's church, even though I'm taking kids to camp ministry. I'm taking kids to Africa. I'm taking kids to Mexico. I did it. I just pretended to be well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It, um, and it's taken years to kind of like overcome that, like with different therapies and like it's art and dance. Worship has been like um, healing for
Yeah.
me. And like being able to express myself through the arts and through dance and through movement.
Right.
That is so powerful. That has been a catalyst to be able to allow me to get my voice back.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Thank goodness. Something that you've mentioned. It's so prevalent within our community. This strong black woman syndrome slash stereotype. And
Right.
it's time that as a society we begin to start moving away from that stereotype or cliche kind of statement, because we have feelings, right? We have feelings, and too many of us continue to suppress those feelings for years. And when we do that, it keeps on eating us out, eating us away when we keep suppressing those feelings. And as you've said, it's so important to have support around you, people who love you genuinely and whom you love, and to be getting that full support, having the full support around you at all times. Because without that, as you've said, we do wear the mask a lot. We mask our feelings, everything is hidden within us, and we try to put the best outwards, right?
Yeah.
We try to put the best outwards, but that's why I believe in sisterhood. It's always good to, when you have like-minded females around you who are very, supportive, they're nurturing, they listen without forming judgments.
Exactly. I mean, you said the key word, judgment.
Yeah.
When you think about Jesus and when that parable where the woman is going through the crowd doing, she's lost everything and she has nothing left and she just wants to touch the hem of his garment. Like,
Yes.
I'm that woman. I've had to lose everything in order to gain my health and wellness and who I am today. Unfortunately, I have
Yes.
to lose everything. But it's not. God doesn't count it as a loss. God counts it. God counts it as a lesson.
Yes.
I'm going to take that as a lesson. But I realized one thing. Like I said, I have grace. People are like, how can you have so much grace? I said because God has grace with me, and I'm not perfect, and I haven't been the best, and but I know that I um I know that not everybody, especially like I said, when choosing a partner, when choosing a life partner, choosing somebody to be married to or even to live with,
Mhm.
I think people need to disclose if they know that they have something,
Yes,
to let the other person know, but also to also know not everybody can take care of you, man or woman, or even your family, even mothers. Like not everybody has the capacity to
yeah,
be able assist you in your healing or recovery. So you have to make a choice of, do I want this person in my life? Do I want to continue with this person? Do I want this person? Can this person um, love me with all my, with
yes,
sickness and illness? Does this person love me despite that? Right?
yes,
I'm fortunate now to have someone in my life that fulfills that role and does that for me. That if I can't cook or clean, or if I can't make a meal, or whatever, we can order out, or he'll go get something and say, "Babe, if you want something to eat, I can get something for." Like the simple
yes,
thing. There's
yes,
no expectation for me to fulfill a role of things that I really cannot do in the moment because I don't have enough energy to do it, right? Or I'm not well
yes,
enough.
yes.
So I'm
So I'm
blessed.
happy to hear that you do have someone who's very supportive of you and your needs, your emotions, and everything. And that's really important, as you've mentioned, when somebody's looking for a life partner, for example, male or female, doesn't matter, but somebody who will have your back no matter what you're going through, they'll be there to go on the journey with you. Right. So I'm glad to
Right.
hear that. So now I know you've written your own story, and which demonstrates that you have taken control of the narrative because you're able to write your own story. How did that make you feel?
It was oh, it was painful
Oh,
to write. It was cathartic. It was healing. But it was painful to at first to write it.
hmm,
Like I said, because I didn't know how my family or the people around me would take what I wrote, right? But it's my
right.
account, it's my narrative, it's my story, and I try to be again respectful, even of those who like I said, like people say, "Oh wow, you have real grace, you have real great," but I I've come to a point where when I'm writing it, released and allow me to move forward, and like I said, I have a record of it. And the question is, where am I going now? I wrote that book in the pandemic, in my bed, in pain.
Mm,
Um, and I'm a totally different to the person who wrote that book to the person who I am now. It literally has evolved. I evolved from Stacy to Destiny. I really have evolved into that woman who is destined for greatness. There's a process, and I hope
yes,
other people around me have seen it. Like I said, I really, I had to lose even like friends or different people around me, and like, oh, she's pretending, or she's looking for attention or whatever. She's always talking about her this and this and that. I was talking about it. I, I wrote it down, and I'm pushing it out there, and like again in interviews and different platforms on
hmm,
YouTube, on Clubhouse, on 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 all different platforms. Why? Because like I said, it's for me, it's life and death. It's not, it's life and death, and it's
hmm,
like if I didn't have the internet or other people or somebody else to talk to about this,
right.
I wouldn't be alive right now. So for me, it's life and death, and I'm gonna put myself out there so then if somebody sees me and they can contact me and get some information about how to, or even which doctor to go to or recommend or whatever, and if they can get
Yes,
help, I know. As long as I know if I help one person, then my mission is
yes, yes. And we thank you for doing that. That's for sure. At the end of the day, if you're able to help someone, then your living is not in vain, right? If you can help someone along the way. Thank you so much. Um, so I know you have been victorious. You've celebrated many victories in your life. What is the imagery that comes to your mind when you hear the word victory?
Victory.
Mhm.
With me, like I said, I live with this disease every day, and the days that I feel like I'm winning, and the days that I feel like I'm losing. But I'm victorious because I'm still alive and I still have breath to get up
Yes.
and still try. Even despite the pain I'm in, even how I'm feeling, I still get up and do what I need to do. So that's how I know I'm victorious.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can say that you are victorious. Your life is a victory because you're here sharing your story, taking others along the journey, and you're helping others as you go along the journey. So thank you so much. It was indeed a pleasure. It feels very short, but we did get through all the questions that we had planned for this evening. So first of all, I really, really would like to thank our guest for joining us and sharing about her journey, our guest, which is Destiny. Thank you so much. And, we're going to continue to remember you in our prayers, everyone. I am imploring us all to continue to do that, to pray one for the other as we help to strengthen our community, our sisterhood. Let us be there for each other and let us strengthen especially our Black sisterhood, right? So, to our audience, our viewers, please remember to visit her story, Hey Sister, herstory.ca, right? It's Hey, Hey, Hey Sister, herstory.ca to purchase any of the co-branded items that you see because her story is giving extra from these items that you see to help the Olive Branch of Hope. So when you make a purchase from one of their products online, you're actually also helping to support the Olive Branch of Hope and the work that the Olive Branch of Hope is doing. The monies raised from the purchase of items as well will help to purchase medical devices to assist women who are living with lymphedema after breast cancer treatment. Lymphedema is one of those side effects that happen to some women after chemo, and not everyone, can afford to purchase them. They're quite costly. So this is the main reason why we are here today. Her story is here to encourage us all to support the work that they're doing in helping to purchase medical equipment for women suffering with lymphedema. And some of the proceeds as well will go to the Olive Branch of Hope, where Olive Branch of Hope is resource organization that helps women who are suffering or who not suffering, but who have been diagnosed and are thriving or still thriving with breast cancer, right? They do a lot of work in providing resources, providing a safe haven for women to share their experiences about their cancer journey, um, to get tips from those who are so thriving with cancer. And we're growing and we're really expanding and helping as many women as we can. So we want the word to get out there and want everyone to visit the olivebranch.ca as well as Hey Sister, herstory.ca and support us as any way you can. So thank you one and all. And until so long, take care.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
First of all, I always thought that breast cancer was a white woman's disease. I didn't know that black women got breast cancer, and that was mainly because all the promotions featured white women. So I just thought, oh, black women don't get this. And then, lo and behold, I was diagnosed with stage 3 advanced breast cancer. I thought after that, I finished with the IV and the chemo, that I was going to go home. I didn't know I had to take additional over-the-counter, not over-the-counter, but prescription drugs. And I went and it was quite expensive. And I thought to myself, okay, what do poor people do? How do women that look like me, that is less fortunate than I am, how do they make it? How do they find the money to pay for this prescription, take care of their families, cover all their finances? That must be so difficult for them. And then I was at home one morning feeling, terrible after chemotherapy treatment. Couldn't get off the bed. It was terrible. And I thought to myself, okay, I don't want any other woman that looks like me to have to go through this alone. So when I get better, I'm going to do something about this. That started the journey of me and the Olive Branch of Hope.